Welcome back, Fight Fam. This is T-Word of the Mic Check Podcast, checking back in with the cool little video, talking about some boxing. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate your feedback. Okay, so today's topic is going to be the recent media run by Terence Crawford in order to promote his fight that's coming up on July 29th at T-Mobile Arena with Errol Spence Jr. This is for welterweight supremacy, aka undisputed at 147 pounds, the first in the four-belt era. Now, as many of you know, Terence Crawford was once with the promotional company Top Rank, and Errol Spence is with Showtime and PBC. So you've got Showtime versus ESPN, Top Rank versus PBC/Al Heyman. So these guys had different career paths to the way that their fights were marketed and positioned to the general public. By my account, Errol Spence had a more robust marketing scheme behind him. The machine made sense. Not only could they get you to stardom, they could keep you there and make you one of the bigger names in boxing. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, and it's no secret that I believe that Top Rank is good at getting you good fights and sharpening your skills as a prospect and things like that. But they tend not to understand how to market fighters once they get to a certain level, specifically African-American fighters. Now, that's my own personal perspective. That doesn't represent those who appear on this channel or anybody else. That's just what I think. I haven't really seen them take a guy who wasn't just uber talented to the next level without that person leaving to go and achieve higher fame. Now, I'm going to tie that together by saying Terence Crawford is in that position. With the individual who made it up to welterweight, became a champion at a next weight in his very first fight, and has had knockouts in every fight since moving up to 147 pounds, his profile should be higher already. However, due to negligence, in my opinion, of his promotional company, nobody really knows who he is outside of boxing circles. And the fact that he wasn't an Olympian and things like that, it's a lot of people that just found out within the last 2 to 3 years that he's actually been undisputed as a professional boxer. So now you look at this current fight. What's it going to take to get the type of sales to warrant the $10 million guarantees that both fighters are looking at, right? So you have to go, all right, Terence Crawford, up to this point, you've not been very talkative in the media. You've been a little reluctant to take interviews and answer questions. We're really going to need you to get on the media run. So if we reflect back to November, December of 2022, you could see some small tidbits about him building the profile of his own, I guess, notoriety by doing the media circuits, like right before his fight with David Avanesian. But everything kind of culminated like within about 7 to 10 days of the fight. He kind of did everything. All the advertisements came out, the interviews went, all that different stuff. But it still just was the typical media run. It's what you see from every fighter. Now, fast forward to now and into May and June of 2023, you're starting to see a greater level of visibility for Terence Crawford, including he's been on $1 million worth of game. He's been on more urban-based podcasts and interviews and shows, which are putting him in front of the fans that he really needs to spend the money on the fight. Because keep in mind, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford split a fan base. And what I mean by that is they're both African-American fighters. They don't really have that American versus them type of thing. Like when you think of Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis, you had a black guy against a Hispanic guy. That's two different fan bases that came together to make that fight popular. You don't have that with Crawford and Spence. So you need these two gentlemen to really drum up the support from within their fan base. And it's okay for it to be divided, whether you're Team Spence or Team Crawford, as long as you're buying the fight. That's what matters to them the most, because they're going to get in there and scrap either way. So seeing him get out there and make these media runs, to me, looks like the PBC playbook has been opened up for him to figure out how to raise his profile as close as possible to the fight. So over the next couple of months, you're going to see more from him marketing the fight than, say, Errol Spence, who already has a profile within the demographic that's probably most likely to buy the fight, right? So when you don't see Errol Spence on the campaign trail, so to speak, it doesn't seem to stand out to me, because I know that he's going to be positioned to make things happen. For example, before the fight was even announced, he did a podcast episode with his lady friend, or the kid of, the mother of his son Dallas, he did her podcast and he talked about everything and exposed some things that were necessary to let everybody know, set the table that I'm still working on this fight. It's all that I want is going to happen. That's going to carry him for a minute. Fast forward to after the announcement, he appears with Terence Crawford on Stephen A. Smith's show on ESPN, and boom, you've got this buzz going. You got all these different things going. He doesn't really need to do anything else. He dropped his promo, and he's going to probably go into his hole for the next 4 to 5 weeks, and then he'll pop back out right before the fight, and he'll do his talking and advertising when they do press conferences and things of that nature, as they do the little city tour. I think they're doing 2 to 3 cities. So when you add all these pieces together, this is really about getting the sales to get behind Bud Crawford. Encourage the people that support him the most to buy the fight. So in my opinion, it's not that Errol's not trying to sell the fight. He doesn't really need to do anything extra right now because he's a proven seller already. He's done numbers already. It's up to Bud to go out there and make some things happen on his end. So it's just interesting to see how I think it's the PBC playbook being ran to get Bud Crawford out there in the media and get him in the public's eye. But would love to find out what you guys think about this. This has been T for the Mic Check Podcast. Until the next time I'm out. Peace.